And welcome back, and we are now at part 2 of this week's New Comics, bitches! So, we're going to talk about the other comics for this week. So, what have we got? We have got... Alright, we got Super Dinosaur number 3. Again, you know, it's hard for me to really, because with such a young comic, it's hard for me to to really get into the this and the that and the mythology of it. Obviously, because they're just really starting with it. I know that Robert Kirkman will continue to make this kid friendly, but will also, he's still aiming at the smartest person out there. He's not just saying, okay, well, this is a book for kids. It's an all ages appropriate book. But we're not going to sell the adult reader, the adult reader short, because we want, he wants to sell a comic that the parents can read as well as the kids, and that's exactly what this is. This is something for everybody, and that's what's so great about it, is because it takes the, as it has throughout all of its issues, it takes the idea of, a more childish comic with all these kind of childish names, or I shouldn't say childish, childlike, because there's a big difference, because childish is generally stupid. Childlike, there's still, a sense of wonder and fascination with the world that's growing. So, yes, I mean, it's still taking a very childlike approach to, introducing the characters and, giving them these silly names and, Derek Dynamo and, just all the, Pterodactyl and, just all of, and Super Dinosaur. I mean, he's a dinosaur and he's super. It's just fun. And to see, little Derek Dynamo, I mean, there, the one thing that I think is going to, kind of eventually get solved in this, I love the big reveal in this issue, though, of, exactly what the base ends up being. It almost kind of reminds me of some of those really bad sci-fi, like Mega Gator versus, Super Croc, or, Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, all that kind of shit. It kind of reminded me of that, but in a good way. In the good idea way, not in the bad idea way. So again, just a really fun, clever, interesting issue, expanding the mythology, growing, and that's what's important. So we've also got FF number 5, Future Foundation. Now this. This cover, it almost kind of hints as to, is Black Bolt going to be the bad guy here? And it's a Mark Bagley cover too. I don't know that he's done this, but again, Steve Epting is absent as artist. Of course, Jonathan Hickman still writing it, but Barry Kitson steps in to do the art, and I love Barry Kitson's art. It's great. He did some wonderful work back on Matt Fraction's The Order, which was an 8-issue spin-off of The Initiative. And that was really, really good, strong comic. And it worked really well, and I loved the art. So, again, it's, the war against the Reeds. There's some hinting at, that Reed has done something really bad. Alex Power kind of steps up to the plate here, which I thought was kind of cool. Because it was just weird to see, this young, good-looking blonde kid, fighting. Because I'm like, did Johnny come back and I missed it? But no, it's Alex. And he kind of gets clipped down a little bit, but... I actually just noticed this is only $2.99, but it's worth it, because I'm really, this is a really interesting comic. I'm really glad that I'm picking it up, because it's got some really interesting. It's got a really interesting story to tell. I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm pretty sure it's going to last a while. And you know, it's just got some really good stuff in it, and there's a wonderful scene between Ben and Alicia. You know, and it's not, you know, kind of more woe is me Ben because, you know, he let, you know, because of Johnny's death and how he felt that he might have been able to prevent that. But you know, just some really good, strong material in this book, and you know, and I hope that it can, you know, I hope that it continues at this pace because it's good stuff. So, okay, so we have kind of a split decision here, another three-way tie. I think we had that a while ago for Book of the Week. Ultimately, it does come down to one though, but two out of these three books are written by Scott Snyder, who is rapidly becoming one of my, aside from Gail Simone, my favorite writer over at DC. And so we'll start first with American Vampire number 16. Now this is, okay, now you got Henry and the Vassals. You know, their little kind of grunt squad that they sent into Taipei to investigate the vampiric activity on the Isle of Taipei, while, you know, obviously all hell is breaking loose around them, and they come up again, and Skinner Sweet is actually kind of hiding amongst them, and of course it turns out that they're, you know, these horrific vampires, these almost kind of venom type of looking things. They're really creepy. They're really well. I mean, Raphael Albuquerque is just, you know, if that's how you actually pronounce the last name of it, is just, you know, sounds like the town. His art is just awesome. I'm so glad that I picked up this book. I mean, I'm so glad that I started picking up American Vampire because this is a fucking great book. You know, it's just, it's everything that you would want a cool vampire story to be about. And you know, now with Gene Colan gone, you know, I think Raphael Albuquerque has to kind of step up to the plate, and you know, which is not to say that like people like Ben Temple-Smith and you know, artists of that ilk haven't drawn other really hideous vampires, but you know, it's a nice change of pace from, you know, kind of the classically handsome vampires, you know, where it's like, okay, I'm a vampire and I'm fucking scary. You know, I don't glitter, and there isn't, you know, a really bad, you know, like Jewel song playing in the background. So anyway, and of course they're all, you know, they've all been imprisoned, and they're all kind of just there to almost be experimented on, maybe tortured by their captors. And you know, and Skinner is, you know, he's really badly hurt because these vampires can actually hurt him. You know, not like the, you know, the Euro vampires that can do nothing to him really. So I mean, it seems that we found kind of his weakness. It's these particular whatever you know, vampire type this is, if they were to have a you know, like a scientific name attached to them. But Pearl, of course, you know, signed up, you know, Pearl, you know, stateside decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to step up, I'm going to sign up as a nurse, and then as soon as I get to Taipei, I'm splitting, and I'm finding my man. And that's, I love the relationships in this comic, because it's really, as opposed to it being, again, like all the best comics, it's not just action-driven, it's character-driven. And that's, you know, where it's not the events are set into course because, you know, to assist the characters actually put events into motion themselves, and that's what makes great storytelling, as opposed to just, you know, okay, you know, having kind of a mix and match. Okay, well, here's a plot, here's a character, let's mix them up and let's do it, which is what you get from, I think, most, you know, most TV, most film, most books, and a lot of comic books. But American Vampire is, you know, it's a wonderful departure from that. So, really looking forward to that next one, and also to the Survival of the Fittest American Vampire mini that's going on right now. Anyway, okay, so now on to number 2 of the Scott Snyder books this week, which is Detective Comics 878. We've got just a mind-blowing finale. I mean, just the last page, just like, I mean, my eyes just about popped out of my head. I mean, it's like, oh man. The A story itself is still really interesting because obviously, dealing with this, dealing with Tiger Shark, who is, who considers himself to be like an actual pirate, and not just he actually kind of lives the pirate lifestyle, and not like the new like kind of Somali pirates or anything like that. He seems to not not that he speaks like Jack Sparrow or anything like that, but that kind of mentality has kind of precedes him, and Batman does his best to figure out what's going on, but still obviously a lot of the things going on here, big deal of what's going on here is with the young lady, the little Miss, little Miss Zuko, and that she might be a little bit more complicit than we thought. Does somebody really truly change their stripes? And of course that and then there's the B story with James Gordon Jr. I'm really glad that we finally got back to that. Jock's artwork is always awesome, and of course the final page. I mean, your heart just sinks. It's so awesome. I mean, it's a great I'm dying. I mean, this is why I'm pissed. This is one of the reasons that I'm pissed about the renumbering, the reboot, because titles like this with arcs like this are probably going away. But he's doing Scott Snyder's doing Batman, so as long as he keeps writing Batman, I think we're going to be golden. So, but my A #1 book of the week, the one that I would have to decide on here, is Witch Doctor #1, which is from Brandon Seifert and Lucas Kettner. I don't know who either of these people are, but this is from Image's Skybound Entertainment, which is run by Robert Kirkman. So if Robert Kirkman brings somebody to the table, it's going to be something. It's going to be somebody interesting. And it's going to be somebody with a story to tell and the voice of their own. And that is what is so cool about this comic, is that basically it's about a doctor, Dr. Morrow, he basically helps to cure those who are cure those who have supernatural issues. But he looks at it from a very clinical point of view. Someone like a doctor, he doesn't look at it like, okay, well, like a priest or someone that you might expect to exorcise a demon. He does tests. He has these contraptions and everything, and it's just a great story about a couple and their son and what he kind of has to prescribe to them. I mean, the doctor character himself is just awesome. His helper characters, Penny Dreadful. I even love the style in which the kind of title cards are done in. It's very reminiscent of old EC comics. Whether that's intentional or not, it just really works. So this would be something I would go out and grab real fast, because this is a really, really excellent book. Just this one issue is awesome. So, and I hope that it really keeps going that way. So, just about out of time. That's it for New Comics, bitches. So, comment, like, dislike, describe. Let's hear from you, people, because I do love to hear from you. So, for the Shadow Gallery, for New Comics, have a good day. and have a good week. We'll see you next time.